Today I'm going to explain to you how to make infused gummies. Now, this is assuming you already have some product to put into the gummies. In this case, I'm going to use 2.5 grams of feco that I made. You can also use infused coconut oil or shatter. If you're using shatter, you have to decarb it first. You're also going to need a non-stick pan, a spatula, a dropper, 3 ounces of flavored gelatin, 1 box, which is 1 ounce. It contains 4 packets of unflavored gelatin, a juice of your choice, but it can't be citrus, so it can't be grapefruit or orange juice. In this case, I'm just going to use some peach juice, 1.5 cups. I've divided them up. You're going to need 1/2 cup of honey, and you can also use some extra flavoring. This is very super concentrated actually, and since mine is lime today, I'm going to use about 8 drops of this. You're also going to need silicone gummy trays. Size is up to you completely, and a cutting board. The first thing I like to do is to get my unflavored gelatin ready, which is setting it to bloom. So I'm going to take 1/2 cup of my juice, and I'm going to pour it on the gelatin, and I'm going to let it bloom for 5 minutes. So we're just going to set that aside for now. I generally like to give it a little bit of a stir. And we'll just set that aside. Next, what we're going to do is in this saucepan on medium to low, we're going to put our flavored gelatin, one cup of juice, our honey, and our product. And now we stir. You're stirring until everything is combined. It can usually take 8 to 10 minutes, and we just stir and stir and still it until it starts to thicken. And then after 5 minutes, we will add our bloomed unflavored gelatin. Now that our unflavored gelatin has bloomed and it's very chunky in consistency, we're going to add that in. And we're going to start mixing until it's all dissolved. At this point, if you want, you can use a whisk as opposed to a spatula. I like to use a spatula. You can also use an immersion blender if you want. I like to use a spatula because it lets me scrape the sides. The longest part is, in fact, the stirring. Once this is all dissolved, we can add some of our flavoring if we want. And the flavoring is completely optional. You do not have to add it. Once everything is blended nicely, now I can add my extra flavoring. I just added about 6 drops. It's important that you keep stirring at all times. I'm going to turn my heat down a little bit because I don't want it boiling. We mix that all in, and now we're ready to transfer it to our gummy trays. The reason for the cutting board is because the gummy trays, they move around a lot, and if it's full, once your trays are full, then it becomes a little bit of a chore to try and get it moved once they're full. I take my dropper, I fill it, yes, it's time consuming, but I like things neater. Some people do messy pours, and you will spill some, but the benefit is then you get to eat it after it hardens. You're going to fill all your trays, and then you're going to let them cool down to room temperature. Then you can put them in the fridge. I like to air dry mine for 48 hours once they come out of the fridge on parchment paper so that they aren't very sticky. Once again, once all your trays are full, you're going to let them cool at room temperature, and then you can put them in the fridge. Overnight works great, and then pop them out in the morning onto parchment paper and let them air dry for a day or two. Some people roll them in sugar, or you can just enjoy them. Thanks.